is the Isle of Chabot. In case you haven't noticed, our theme is How to Train Your Dragon. And if you're not familiar with the movies, it follows the story of Hiccup, who is an engineer whose designs don't always go as planned, but throughout the story, he stays resilient. If you remember us from last year, our design also didn't really go as planned, us having not completed a single race at all because of some technical difficulties. But this year, our mindset is kindled by Hiccup's perseverance and dedication through a team of engineers, dragons, and Vikings! Yeah! All right, let's go over into technical, which is our first topic of the day. We designed a hinge system for the back of our solar panel that sort of acts as a trunk with easy access for our electrical box and wiring to our trolling motor. And speaking of trolling motor, we implemented a 12-volt, 55-pound thrust trolling motor connected to a repurposed steel bar that is easily accessible to our driver to manually steer, and that acts as our steering system. So our first iteration was to use a 24-volt, 86-pound thrust trolling motor, and it wasn't the most optimal for us because our 24-volt battery was rated for 9 amp hours, and it wouldn't supply us with enough current in the long run, and our battery would die quickly. And as opposed to our 12-volt battery, which is rated for 18 amp hours, and it gives us more usable capacity. So in switching over to our 12-volt battery system, we are able to meet the requirements of our trolling motor and run our system more efficiently. And we were also able to lengthen our runtime from the 24-volt motor, which allowed us 18 minutes, to 30 minutes with our new system on full throttle. Right.
Additionally, something that we did was revisit an old hull model from 2024 because we realized that it would be cost effective, as well as realizing that this is something that we already knew worked well for us. Besides that, we took a lot of time just trying to address issues from last year's design. For example, one thing that we did was we had this very wide frame system for our hull, and while that really helped with stability, it didn't allow us to glide as efficiently as we wanted to. So by revisiting back to the 2024 hull design, we were able to have a more condensed center of mass in order to glide into the water and cut through it more efficiently. Besides that, we also worked on trying to have an incline for our solar panels so that we would be able to optimize the amount of solar energy we would get from the angle that we would hit the sun with. Moving on to design, I'm gonna go back to the beginning of our presentation. As you know, we chose How to Train Your Dragon as a theme because we believed that it really reflected our tenacity and our drive to make up for our shortcomings from last year. But besides the grit that we had, we also wanted to emphasize that we chose this theme because it really represents what we want to be as engineers, which is being engineers who create with intention. So as an engineering college at a community college, as an engineering club at a community college, we wanted to really focus on the experiences that we can offer to our club members. So by having this design category, we were able to take things such as host CAD design workshops and prop making sessions in order to emphasize the importance of 3D printing, not just in the industry, but for more fun purposes such as this one. Beyond that, we were going to talk about this a bit more in sustainability, but we were able to work with our school's fire academy and have them donate different wooden planks in order to do things such as work on furnishing props like this shield that you see here and this board presentation. Beyond that, I want to draw your attention right here where you see a manual mechanical toothless design. That's my twin. And basically, this really captures the ambition that we wanted our club to reflect even after they leave Chabot College.
It blinks.
Yes! Do you see it? But yeah, to us, design is not just about technicalities, but it's about purpose and opportunity.
Yay! All right, moving over to sustainability. Our journey actually started before we even began building the boat itself. So our project was 100% fully funded by a Lego engineering festival that our club hosted at last October that taught students and STEM outreach programs a little bit more about engineering within our community. We were able to gather 2,000 plus attendees for this very first time event. And after the success, we're able to make it an annual thing, hopefully, which it's looking like a yes. And through the success of this festival, we raised over $3,000 and are able to build our boat without any outside financial support. So that's a huge plus for us. So sorry, give me 1 second. Which was a huge plus for us, and we decided to bring that mentality into the sustainability choices throughout our whole design. For example, instead of starting from scratch, I think Noreen mentioned that we repurposed the 2024 hull, and we saved over 63 pounds of material that otherwise would have been discarded, and we saved over roughly $1,000 on just the hull alone by reusing it. And we estimate a total of 50% of all the materials we use were recycled and repurposed through on-campus organizations. An example of this is that the Fire Academy from Chabot was willing to donate plywood that otherwise would have been disposed of, and we were able to repurpose it as structural materials for our boat. And also, this board was also recycled from the academy as well. Made it look like a little workshop. And additionally, we recycled metal brackets from our machine lab on campus that we repurposed into structures and supports for the solar panels and the pontoons. And we're able to save over $150 on support materials alone. And we avoided the use of spending excess money on just excess materials that we wouldn't have used in the first place.
Smaller components reflect this mindset as well. I'm talking about, for example, our electric box is actually a repurposed Lego container that allowed us to fund this entire event or this entire project in the first place. For us, sustainability is not just about designing for the present, it's about designing for the future as well. Our boat design is fully modular, which means that it can be broken down, it can be repaired, and it can be continuously improved upon throughout the years. This means that following teams, even after, for example, all of us leaves, are able to basically build upon that design and also save or increase the life cycle of different materials that we used.
Pick up my boy! Show our judges the amazing schematic we made. If you can follow me along from the top left, you will see our 12-volt battery leading into two different things. One is our 1-2 off position switch that gets two inputs from one, our battery, and two, our 30-volt solar panels put in parallel into a DC to DC converter, which changes it from its 30-volt input into a 12-volt output to which our motor could properly work. That then goes to our motor, but before that, for the safety of our Vikings, we put a kill switch to make sure all the safety of our riders are properly safe and properly trained. Yeah! To end it off, all of our negatives are connected to a common ground bus bar, which was fully repurposed from our machine shop as well. That's all!
Yes!
Yeah! And this couldn't have been done without my Vikings!
Yeah!
Get up here! Get up here!
As you can see, if you remember us from last year, you might remember that we had around 10 members, and now we're up to 30 Vikings!
Working on the bow. We have 30, I promise.
Yes. As you can see with all of our 3 leads here, of course we did a few different things, but if it weren't for all of the contributions from this team, we wouldn't be able to be here today better than ever.
So like Noreen said, from last year, we expanded our sub-teams from last year, which was the CAD, electrical, and assembly. And now this year we expanded into CAD, design, electrical, propulsion, assembly, and testing.
In order to really organize our flow, what we did was that all of these sub-teams were able to meet and work on their individual tasks throughout the week. And at the very end, on Fridays, we had very long meetings where we were able to just brief as a whole team, see what we had to work on, soundboard off of each other, and set the next goals in order to be able to make progress as we did here.
A little example of a specific sub-team early on within the stages is the CAD team, which I am a lead of. And me and Noreen actually co-led a computer-aided design workshop for our students that taught them the fundamentals of SolidWorks so that beginners can get more confident in contributing to our project. So we would have expanding more from last year. And even though we love our sub-teams and we were able to be specialized within a sub-team, none of this could have happened without all of us coming together and just improving on last year and making this whole thing work. So
tell me, my Vikings, who's the greatest in all the Isles? We are!
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, fantastic job, amazing costumes. I don't think anybody needs to tell you that.
Thank you.
But we heard about your boat. Tell us about the costumes. Where'd you get these from?
Yeah.
And second part is, I love it. How much 3D printing came into play as well?
Yeah,
Perfect
so I
question.
believe the idea came first as a joke because I never watched the movie, and they all made fun of me for it, so they forced me to watch it. So after that, we all decided to get the most basic of stuff, like outfits, beard, clothes, all that stuff, and then we thought, how can we make it better? How can we improve our design?
Yes.
So one thing you can notice is on my belt, I have some dragon skulls. Another thing is our mugs that we all have.
That we all painted as well. It was a little bonding experience.
And even some of our Viking helmets are 3D printed.
So all the accessories are basically everything that we made.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
it's the perfect size.
Right on. On the engineering side, okay, I think what I heard is 2025's hole ditched it, went back to the 2024
2024,
hole.
yes.
So that's awesome because you're keeping your holes from past generations in stock. 2025, same thing, or did you scavenge from it? What happened to that hole?
2025's hull, was actually just a pre-made
Crafted from scratch.
So we had boards, we had the repurposed metal brackets. It was just the whole frame of the boat, and on the forward and end, we attached our solar panels on. So we didn't have a purchased hull. We just made it from scratch. So yeah.
So 30 people is a lot. That's a big team. So that's a lot of different thoughts and ideologies. How did you all come together to consensus and come down on big ideas?
I think that a very big factor that came into play with this is we had to really understand how to delegate tasks and also understand that it was just very important for us to come together at the end of the day and discuss how different components really worked with one another. For example, CAD team wouldn't be able to really function without assembly because we're designing supports for those types of things.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, sorry. And again, I wanted to reiterate our Friday meetings because we would work like 11 to 7 in our makerspace, just really trying to build off of each other's ideas that we worked on separately throughout the week. So that's where everything really comes together. That's how things become cohesive.
Thank you.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Good
much.
luck on the water.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.